the Corey Love Show, where carefree conversations about life, business, what's trending, and more is taking place. And it's hosted by yours truly, your host, Corey Love.
Hey, 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 it's your girl Corey Love of the Corey Love Show. You already know tonight we are going to have a carefree conversation with Tachetta D of TDH Ministries. As usual, this month we have been doing our series on domestic violence survivors. So tonight we are ending it with none other than Tachetta D. So, as y'all already know the routine, if you're a regular, make sure you share this out with your audience. Click that arrow, share this out with your audience, and invite them on to view the show for tonight. So, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to go ahead and play the intro again while y'all do that and get myself together. Okay, Tachetta is already here. She said, run that intro back. Hey Nessa, thanks for tuning in. Hey Gregory. Hey Isha. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and he's like, hey, yes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right. As y'all already know, tonight's show is sponsored by I Can't Let Go, which is the owner is Beatrice of the Boo Weave, and so she sponsored both shows from her organization. Yeah, that got you grooving, don't it? Somebody said we just get to this tonight. I got the official credit jam. Yes.
Girl, I was like, wait a minute, I'm like, run that back. Don't say something. Run that back. Run it back again. And again.
You said run that back again? That's what Suzanne said. Yes. She said my late night pastor. Hey, Tachetta, you're glowing today, girl.
Girl, that's that Zoom meeting look. Don't mind me. That's that Zoom meeting look. I really had to show my face today.
Right.
Zoom.
Oh, okay. You put on the face. Yeah. You fix the wig. Put on
girl,
the lip
otherwise
gloss.
I'll put that pretty Zoom picture up there and be like, you can hear my voice. You don't need to see my face. Not that.
Today they was like, you need to be on. Don't you have
none of that?
Hey, I gotta put on real clothes. Yes, I already know. So go ahead and tell the people who you are, what you do, where they can find you, and we're gonna jump right on in.
Well, like Dope Diva said, I'm her late night pastor. I ain't a pastor yet, y'all. Don't mind me. But anyway, my name is Tachetta D. I am the person of TDH Ministries. So I am an empowerment, motivational speaker. I am a minister. And just your all around roundaway girl, just because I got Jesus, got my back. Don't mean I'm a little hood still. I'm a little
just a little bit,
right? But I'm just your all around person. I like to empower people. I like to motivate people. I have my own podcast now. Just launched that. So TDH Ministries presents in Spirit, Purpose, and Power podcast. Currently working on the book right now, and Corey is pushing me to the limit.
You better make it work. Listen, we not playing. Everyone that has it in, and this is what I've been told. Like, help them to get there. You got it. It just gotta come from hair to hair. So, and it's coming. It's getting there. Like you said, you gotta do it. Everybody got to do everything in their timing. Although I may say, yeah, but work on your timing so that it can be perfected, right?
Girl,
everything is not going to be perfect, but it's going to be great. Yes. So she said, come on now. All right. So, and also let them know on Tuesdays you have Live Talk Tuesdays
Right.
and Wednesdays.
Right, don't remind me. That's why I tell you this. My internet Instagram assistant. She gonna be in my DM making sure I'm on point. So
Yes, why you
holla
posting? Yes, so she does have Live Talk Tuesdays where she comes on, and we're not gonna say she ministers, but she talks about the word. All right, and on Wednesdays, Wonder Woman Wednesday, she makes sure that all the wonderful women that are out there that are doing things, making moves, are joined on her show, and they go ahead and they share about themselves as well. So everyone has something that they're doing because everybody needs to be seen in different arenas, and that's how we do it, and we're gonna make it all happen because everybody got to be seen. All right.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
She said, okay. All right. So you know that the episodes this month has been about domestic violence. And unfortunately, it's so funny because when I'm posting, it's like, yeah, it's a good thing because I met you guys and you guys are doing great things, but there's always a but in certain things, which is good but bad because when I look at it, what y'all went through has made y'all stronger. You're moving. It kind of pushed you to do things that you may not have done. So it's like a good and a bad. So
I don't even look at it as a bad thing. Like I said, the word tells us that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord. And I had to later on in life. I ain't gonna say when I came out of it, I'm like, Lord, it was a good thing for me to be beat down. No.
Right.
No, it was not. But I had to realize later on in life that it eventually did work out for my good. So it did transition into a good thing. I had to go through, as they say, I had posted earlier about a flower is planted in the dirt. You know, a flower that must bloom is initially planted in the dirt. And you know, dirt, there's nothing beautiful in the dirt. The dirt is just dirt. You know, it might have some
worms and all that.
Yeah, all type of stuff up in it. It might be real nasty. It might have, you know, some number 2s up in there too. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I can't say the word, but y'all can spell the 4-letter word that I'm talking about. But, you know, there you go.
Yeah.
But it might have some stuff up in the dirt, but eventually out of that, from the seed, you have to sprout. You know, there's changes happening in that seed every single day, even though you initially don't see it. There's changes always happening in that seed while it's in the ground. The only time that you recognize the change has happened is when it first begins to sprout above the ground. You know, so sometimes we got to be planted in some dirty mess in order to sprout above the mess. And then while you're sprouting and while you're growing and while you're transitioning through the seasons, you know, eventually you'll grow that new leaf. And then
better catch that word.
Yeah, from the new leaf is a new flower. But then from that flower, sometimes other things may spring up with it, like weeds, like thorns, you know, may spring up with it. So what do we have to do for self-care? Eventually you have to pluck the weeds out. Eventually you have to pluck the thorns out. And for me, domestic violence was like that. You know, God, I was a flower. I always been a flower. You're a flower. We're all flowers in God's eyes that's meant to grow eventually. But in life, when situations happen, that's those weeds or those thorns that's coming up. But eventually there's a time where it's time to pluck those things out. And so, baby, I had to pluck the weed, and so your girl can bloom.
All right.
I haven't always glowed like this. Oh, you saw my driver's license picture.
Yeah. It wasn't no glow. That's that word.
No, baby.
So the individual that these things happen with, occurred with, what was it? Your husband, your children? I know you have 3 boys. So,
well, let me run it back to y'all. Let me run it back to you. So, domestic violence for me, it started. I met the person I was with. You know, I ain't gonna say abuser or nothing like that. I met the person that I was with during that time. I initially met him when I was 14. I was 14 years old, and of all places, I met him at church. Yeah, so I was a drummer and a singer in the choir, and I sung in the choir for many years and played the drums. And he worked into music. He was, you know, producing music and going into the studio and doing his thing, you know, trying to launch that. And so that's what the commonality was between he and I, was music. So that's how he introduced himself, you know, Like, hey, my name is such and such, and you play the drums really well. I haven't really seen too many female drummers in my lifetime, and you sing really nice. Well, I do music and stuff, and we got to talking about that. We got to talking about the artists that we like and all of that. And he presented himself to be a really good person. So from that, we ended up becoming friends, platonic friends. We ended up becoming friends, and he would, we'd go out to lunch, or he'd call me on the phone, and we get to talking about music, or we get to talking about just life in general. Now, mind you, I was in a relationship with my first son's father. That was the first guy that my mom allowed me to date.
Okay.
And I knew him for years. So I was already in a relationship, even though I was young. This is my first little boyfriend that mom allowed me to have. And I loved him because I had knew my first son's father since we were kids. This is somebody I grew up with since elementary school and grew to love. So over time, I'm with my son's father, and we're like, 2-3 years into the relationship, and I finally got pregnant with my first son, our first child. Now, mind you, I was still friends with the guy that ended up later on abusing me. We still were cool. And during that time, he never presented an ugly side of himself to me. So I wouldn't have initially saw the signs of abuse. I wouldn't have initially saw that he had a mean streak to him or anything, because he was always cool with me. We would always talk, we would always laugh, we would always chop it up. If I had issues, he was someone that I would be able to come to and talk to about, and likewise.
Right.
So when I entered my last trimester, into my last trimester of pregnancy, I was about 7-8 months pregnant. And my friend then, I would say friend then, I'm trying to be nice, y'all. I'm trying to be nice. My friend then, eventually he started to express to me that he had feelings for me. That
while you're pregnant with your boyfriends.
Right, that he had feelings for me. Now, mind you, I'm already in love and in a relationship with someone, so I'm not about to move forward with this one, at all.
And how old were you at the time?
Huh?
How old were you at the time?
I was 17.
Okay.
I was 17 years old when I had my first son.
Okay.
And he expressed that he cared about me and all of that stuff. And it was nice. It was flattering, but I'm already in a relationship. I'm loyal to the person that I'm with. We're having a whole baby.
And he knew this.
Hello, yes. We're having a whole baby and all of that. But like I said, he and I were friends for many years. We were friends for 3 whole years and never had an issue. So I finally told him, I'm like, look, because I'm seeing that the feelings are here, I don't think that I can continue to be friends with you, especially knowing that you're feeling this way about me, and I'm not feeling that right now. I'm not feeling that at all, because I'm already in a relationship. So we finally disconnected. Things fell out. Fast forward years later, roughly about a year later, my first son's father was murdered. Murder on the streets of Oakland. So that happened, and I went through my phases in between, depression and all of that. I moved to Texas, met my second son's father, in which we had a relationship that lasted a couple of years, and I had my second son out in Texas.
Okay.
When that fell apart, I moved back to California. Girl, I was bouncing back and forth like a yo-yo.
That's okay.
For real.
That's okay.
But
that's okay.
I moved back to California, and when I moved back to California, I'm trying to reestablish myself and all of that. So I finally ended up meeting my old friend again. I finally ended up seeing him again. We ran into each other, and all of a sudden the conversation started all over again, as if nothing
changed.
Right, as if nothing changed. So I didn't think anything of it. And at that time, I was single. Now I'm single with 2 kids. And so we began to chop it up like we did when we were friends before. Everything seemed like it was cool. And he began to still express that, I still have cared about you all of these years. I wondered how you were doing, and this, that, and the other. And I'm all flattered and blushing and all of that stuff,
You still like me, boy? Okay, I still got it.
Yeah. Right. And this is somebody that I already know, that I'm already familiar with. So I wouldn't think anything of it.
Right.
So he and I eventually started dating. We started dating. Everything was cool in the beginning. Everything was great in the beginning. And I got pregnant with my last son, my final son.
Mm-hmm.
And we had
Which
the
is
baby.
his.
Huh?
Which is his?
Yeah, which is his. Which
Yeah.
is his. Good Lord. But I got pregnant with my youngest son, and I had my child, you know, everything
I'm so
is
sorry, y'all.
great.
My allergies are killing me. So I'm sorry that I'm so sniffly. I apologize.
It's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
But I got pregnant with my youngest son, and what went from great and that we were great friends and now in a seemed like loving and beautiful relationship turned into hell on wheels. 3 months later, after I had my youngest son.
Your baby. Yeah.
3 months after I had my youngest son is when the first instance of abuse happened.
Yeah.
And it all started over a diaper change.
So there was no signs before, nothing. He was pampering, loving. You pregnant, y'all being all lovey-dovey.
Yeah,
you had the baby.
Everything was great. Everything was great. No signs, no nothing for me to be like, you know, red flag, nothing.
Right,
because I had known this person since I was 14.
Okay.
You know, I felt like I was already familiar with him. You know, it's not like I was meeting somebody brand new. This is somebody that I knew for years.
Right.
But we just separated for a couple of periods and years in between.
Correct.
But the first instance of domestic violence happened at the house. It was a day I was really tired.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, girl, I was absolutely exhausted and I wanted to sleep. And I finally got the baby to sleep. The kids are asleep. I'm in the bed, sleep. You know, he's in the bed too, but he's not asleep. He's not asleep. I'm asleep. And the baby my son ended up taking a number 2 in his diaper. And when he did that, instead of his father changing his diaper, he woke me up instead. Right. So I'm like, okay, he woke me up to Tachetta, you know, get up and change the baby. Right. I'm like, aren't you already up? You see, girl, I got bags under my eyes. I'm looking like a hot mess, Medusa for real. For real.
Because you just had a newborn.
Yes. And then I have 2 other kids. So I'm tired. You know, I'm like,
and how old are they?
All of my sons are 4 years apart. So at the time when I had the newborn, my second son was 4 and my oldest son was 8. He was 8 at the time.
Okay.
So he basically was like, you know, get up, change the diaper, you know, and I'm sitting up here going, well, you're already woke. Why couldn't you do it? You know, like, seriously, why couldn't you do it? Why would you wake me up? And you're laying right here next to us. Like, come on, like, for real. And he was like, well, you're his mother. And I'm like, well, you're his father. Like, like for real. Like, what difference is that? Right. So, yeah, they were still young. All of my kids, they were still young at the time. So we ended up kind of like getting. I'm pissed off. I'm mad and I'm upset.
Yeah, I'm sleep. You can change that too. Right. I get it.
I went ahead, girl. I started changing the diaper, and while I'm changing the diaper, now he don't like the way I'm changing the diaper. So I'm like, well, if you got a problem, mind you, I ain't never changed a damn diaper in his life. And yes, I said damn.
Yeah. So he mad because hell like how you changing the diaper.
Right. This was his first child. This is my third child. So I done already been through the roller coaster before motherhood. But this was his first child. Now it's, you know, he's nitpicking on little things now. You know, just trying to create an argument. And I was just teed off. I was just like, you know what, whatever. I'm going to change his diaper the way that I was taught and the way I want to change his diaper. If you don't like it, then go get another diaper and change him the way you want to change it. You know, call it a day. And when I said all of that, he turned around and all of a sudden started calling me out my name, you know, and this was the first time that I'm hearing all of this come from him because I've never seen, like I said, that other side of him before. And it just really took me off guard. I was like, what? Like, what? You know?
You serious?
The blackness. I say the blackness came out of me. Like,
Oakland.
Like, you know,
Oakland.
Girl, okay? For real. That hood came out. And so he's talking to me crazy. Next thing you know, I'm talking to him crazy because I'm like, I'm not about to go for this, especially not over no diaper. I'm trying to put my baby back to sleep.
Yeah, that was really just. Yeah. And he's never changed a diaper before, but he didn't like the way you were changing it.
Right. Something to make an argument about. And so the argument escalated, and I'm like, you know what? Do what you want to do. I'm about to turn back around and go to sleep because I'm tired. And when I turned back around and went to sleep, he got out of the bed and literally came to my side of the bed and took me by my hair and pulled me out of the bed. Whew. So he pulled me out of the bed and dragged me to the front of the bed. And when he dragged me to the front of the bed, he literally bit into my face. When I say bit, yes, bit into my face. He bit around around the left side of my eye. So hard to the point where, Corey, I had literally teeth mark indentations around my eye, and my eye swelled up. Now it's purplish, reddish. Yes, deranged. He was deranged, man. He was. he was.
Bit you? Jesus.
Bit me so hard into my face, like literally, you could see the teeth marks. Right, the teeth you use will be the teeth you lose. He learned that later on in life, girl. He learned that later on in life.
Right.
But yeah, he did that, and so now I'm trying to fight him off because, mind you, my son's father he's 6 feet, 200 and some pounds. Me, I'm only like, at the time I was like, 5'3" and a half, quarter, something like that, 5'3", 5'4", but I was only like 150 pounds, so I'm like half.
But he a man regardless. I always tell people, if it's a man, I mean, I don't care how strong, and this is just my opinion, I don't care how strong we think we are, a man's strength is always pretty much overpowering to ours. So imagine that. I'm just amazed that he bit you. Like, Jesus.
Girl bit me smooth in my face. Like, smooth in my face. And from then, after he bit me and I'm trying to fight him off, he turned around and began to choke me out. I mean, choke me out so hard to the point where I'm gasping for air. I'm fighting to breathe. All of that. And I'm screaming, I'm crying now because now I'm hurt. I'm like dead hurt. But I'm still trying to fight him off. I just want him off of me. And he began to dig his fingers into my neck, so hard to the point where they literally left race marks across my neck. You can see all of it. When I finally broke free, I was able to run out and run for help and whatnot. Eventually, of course, the police and stuff were called,
So when you're going through this with him, he's doing that. I'm sure you were in shock. Like, you probably didn't even have so who called the police?
Oh, yeah. Actually, one of my sons called his grandmother because we were arguing. So they ended up, my oldest son ended up waking up and called. And when they heard that, she basically instructed, well, call the police. And so that's what ended up happening. I ended up leaving the house and going back to my mother's house, in which I stayed there. He wouldn't allow me. Now, for whatever reason, he was not arrested that night. Now, mind you, my face is all, yes, girl. He was not. He was not. My face all battered, bruised up. I get my stuff. I leave. I leave with my 2 oldest sons. He's arguing with me, saying that I'm not about to take his son anywhere, that I can take my other 2 bastard children and go wherever, but I'm not about to take his son anywhere. So to kill the argument, I'm like, you know what? Okay, fine. I left. I went to my mother's house. Eventually, about a day later, I ended up talking to his mother, who ended up having my son. She was like, she's going to bring the baby to me and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, fine. So she brought my son to me. Eventually we tried to work out an agreement through his grandparents that his grandparents would get the baby so that he could still see his son.
Whose grandparents? Who grandparents? His
mother. His parents would pick up the baby to to take the baby and so that he can still see his child, because he couldn't come to my mother's house. Oh, absolutely not. That ain't happening. Mama Bessie, no, she ain't playing that.
Right. So, she like, I'll bite you, baby boy. You ain't coming around here.
Right, exactly. So
I'm just amazed that he bit you. You're like, why wouldn't they have arrested him? But that could be for another
That was the initial time. That was the initial time. Now, moving down the line, eventually of course, it happened in increments. The abuse happened in increments. It wasn't an everyday thing, and it's not to say any time, any day, even if it's one time, is enough.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't like flip out every day. I'll say we'll have that segment, that moment, and then go into the abuse cycle. You know, that's what I call it, the abuse cycle, the tension period, then the blowout period.
Right.
Then we're back into the honeymoon phase. Now he's feeling all bad, feeling all sorry, feeling all sad. Now he wants to make up. Now he wants to, you know, apologize and, you know, try to be the best dad that he can be and, you know, show the world that he's a good father and that he's a good man to me. Basically put on a facade. That's what I look at it as now. Put in on the front and a facade. So he wouldn't do it all the time, but later on, you know, everything would be cool for a couple of months. And then all of a sudden, an outburst would happen. Or there was one period of time in our relationship where things were good for an entire year. Like we didn't have no issues. And all of a sudden that next year was like hell on wheels. It was like every 2-3 months, we're like literally getting into it.
So what do you think? What do you think were his triggers? Because I mean, it's weird, but so the first time that happened, that's when he bit you. You left. You went to your mom. He came back. I love you. I'm sorry. We're gonna make it work. Boom. You went back. Right.
Being
so
stupid.
Now that you're back, you said it happened a couple of times. So what do you think was his triggers? Did you ever figure that out?
Necessarily, to me, after a point in time, anything could be his trigger. You know, I think his main trigger was the thought of losing me. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. So let me keep a tight rope on her. When he felt like things were getting out of control to where he couldn't control me, or I would say pump that fear into me, you know, that little moment that I kind of felt my little chest coming out a little bit, you know, start getting a little sense again. Then all of a sudden he would go smooth off to put that fear back into my mind, you know, put that fear and to break me down and to tear me down. So it wasn't necessarily like if I did something wrong, it would trigger him. It was just like anything. I think, like I said, his trigger is that when he felt like he couldn't control me, or when he felt like that, you know, Tachetta is now getting her sense back. You know? Tachetta is she's starting to see the light a little bit. So let me pump a little fear back into her life. A little bit, break her down again.
So that first time when you went back, you were cool. Like, okay, everything was good because he was trying to behave now because he already tripped off. So he's trying to be good. So now after that, he figured, I'm assuming, I'm asking, you ended up just being cool. The baby's about a year now, right? A year and a half or something like that. And you just moving normal. But I guess he thought you were doing the most, or you were just too cool?
No, it's just that when I started having a sense or a feeling of wanting to be independent, you know, like he would want me, he would do things like this. We had a car that, you know, we got the car. His parents kind of gifted us the car to be able to take the kids back and forth to school.
Right.
For me to be able to, because I was in Oakland. He worked in San Francisco. And they were like, you know, you could take the BART or whatever else to go to work, but she needs the car because she has the kid. You know, and then I had school and all of that. But he would literally, Corey, want me to get up, take the kids to school, take him all the way to San Francisco, mind you, to work, drive all the way back here for me to go to school. Then he would call me around his lunchtime for me to drive all the way back to San Francisco.
How long is the drive?
Girl, depending on if it was traffic or not, sometimes the drive could be roughly about 20 minutes or so. Sometimes the drive, if the traffic was forever, it could last up to an hour or more.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I spent part of my life in traffic going back and forth, picking him up, and that was his way of keeping tabs on me.
On you, right?
Yeah, keeping my tabs on me. If I got her picking me up all throughout the day, then I know she ain't got time to be going here, there, and everywhere else. You know, and because his parents had gifted us the car, he kind of used that as a tool. Well, my parents did. You know, or, you know, it came from my side of the family. He used that kind of like as a tool. As like, you know, if it wasn't for us on this side, you wouldn't even have this.
Right.
You know, and I was just like, wow, because I was young and I needed a car and my kids were young. I'm trying to make the best of things, but that was his way of keeping tabs on me. And that, like I said, that madness lasted for years. The abuse just escalated over time to the point where I just couldn't take it. I couldn't take
Right.
it anymore. I started to get to a place where I was angry at God. I was
Mm.
absolutely angry at God. And I've been in the church all my life.
Mm-hmm.
I believed in God all of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Was raised to trust God,
Yeah.
read scriptures since I was little, was able to
Yeah.
recite them and all of that. To
Right.
grow and be in this situation where I was like, God, I can't even believe what's going on right now. Like, for
Right.
real. You said that you'll be with me, but yet I'm sitting up here getting beat down. And it's like you done left me
Right.
out here in the
Right.
wilderness and in the woods with this madness and with this crazy deranged fool. And
Mm-mm-mm.
I got to a place where I got depressed. I got, to a place where I got suicidal. I got to a place where life wasn't worth living anymore. I had got to a point that even in my mind, I began to plan in my mind where my kids would go if something were to happen to me. Let me plan out
You were
that if
tired.
something happened to me, my kids going with my mom, or they going, or my second son's father, he and I were still good
Cool.
co-parents. So I'm like, he can
Right.
go with his father, and I'm literally planning stuff out that I shouldn't have to, that I shouldn't be put in a place to have to make a decision like that.
But you
But
were
I really
tired at
blanked
this
out.
point.
I really
And
blanked out, and I was just like,
how many years was this?
girl, he and I were in a relationship for 7 years. So
Okay.
I endured that madness literally for 7 years on and off. And like I said, the last, I would say 3-4 years of that 7 years was hell on wheels. That was the most darkest period of my time, because then the violence began to escalate. The abuse began to escalate. The emotional abuse began to escalate. And it got to a place where if you would look at me then, you wouldn't even recognize who I was. I got to a place where I didn't care about myself. I don't care about doing my hair. I ain't wearing no makeup. Like, you gonna see me in sweatpants and a t-shirt and probably some flip-flops on. Like, for real.
Right.
I got to a place where I didn't care about myself. I didn't, I would do things. I love my children. So I would do things like, when I got to those places and moments in time, that I would send my kids to their grandparents so that they wouldn't have to see me like that. And I would spend time crying. I would spend time in my room sometimes when it was just me at the house, really talking to God. Because I didn't understand. I didn't understand. And I'm like, Lord, why do you have me going through this? Why do you have me, I mean, for real, you said that you would be there. You said that you love me above all, and then you would send me into some mess like this that would leave me broken.
So you were mad with God.
Yeah, I got angry. I got angry, to the point where I couldn't even pray without almost saying a curse word in my prayer. I'm being transparent. Like, for real.
I get it.
I literally talked to God. I literally yelled at God. I literally like, man. And there were times that even in the abuse, when it would happen, I would run into the room. And I remember a few times I did this. I would run into the room and lock the door so that he wouldn't be able to get in. And I looked fast enough to be able to grab my Bible and run into the room. And I would open the Bible and start reading it to, Lord, help me, keep me focused on the words in the word so that I won't react to what he's saying on the other side of the door. Because see, the hood get on me. If you calling me bitches and all of this other stuff, oh baby, I'm about to be with the
call
with
you
the
back
next,
out your name.
Right. But I got to a place where I got tired. I just got dead tired, and I'm like, I just need peace, because now I'm living in a house. As they say, you don't have to be locked up behind prison to know what prison feel like. My house became a prison for me. It became somewhere where I couldn't even call it home. It was just a house. It was just somewhere where I laid my head, and I would literally run into the room and read my Bible. I remember it was one time that he was yelling at me and calling me names and whatnot. And I picked up my Bible while he's cursing me out, while he's going off on me. And
You're trying to block the demon.
I started reading it. Huh?
Trying to block the demon with the Bible. But
Girl,
that's what it was.
I was.
Yeah, that's what it was. I get it.
But
And it's so funny that you said, well, not funny, but if you said that you endured this for 7 years, I mean, on and off, but it got worse at the end. And I know you know that 7 is considered the number of completion, right?
And
so,
baby, I was completely done
on that 7th year. So how did you end up letting go? I mean,
Girl, let me tell you.
and I say letting go because I know you had to let go and go. It's not him because he obviously wasn't going to do that.
So the night that I left, the day that I left, what transpired is I was actually frying chicken. He and I got into an argument, and the argument kind of escalated. And while I'm cooking the chicken, you know, my latter side of mine wanted to take the pot and throw all the hot grease.
All right, Medea.
You know, that Medea way of me wanted to do that.
Right.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm just not about to do this. So I went ahead and I turned the chicken frying. I turned the whole stove off. I was cutting French fries. I'm like, you know what? You cut these things yourself. Like, for real. You go feed yourself. You cook this chicken and cook this stuff. And I ended up going upstairs. And luckily this time, because he had took the door hinges, he took our door to our room off the hinges so many times that now our door room wouldn't close. It wouldn't lock. So that wasn't, that was the room that I used to be able to run to you know, bombard myself away from him. But this time, I'll say the Spirit of God really moved on me to go into one of my son's rooms. So the kids weren't there. And I took my Bible that night and I went into my son's room and he's pissed off. He's angry, cussing me out and all that. I pushed their whole bed against the door and I just laid there all night and I began to cry. I began to read the word. I began to talk to God. I mean, he was going at it behind the door, Corey, for an hour and a half.
Arguing to yourself because you ain't studying him.
I wasn't even tripping. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to sleep tonight. I'm going to be at peace tonight. And in my mind, I just was asking God, I said, Lord, I just want peace. I said, I just want peace. And I want to be able to, I said, I'm ready to go. That's what I kept telling him. I said, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to leave this. And I was praying in my heart. I said, Lord, whatever you do, you know, if I have to lose every single thing in here, you know, if I have to lose every single thing, just allow me to take me and my children in peace and allow me to leave unharmed. You know, allow me to leave unharmed. And so the next day came, you know, I woke up and whatnot. That was the first night in years that I actually slept peacefully for the first time. So I finally woke up the next day and I heard the door close. So I'm presuming, you know, he went to work. You know, he took the car and went to work. So I finally think that it's safe to come out of the room. And I came out of the room and went downstairs and he met me right at the bottom of the stairs. Right at the bottom of the stairs. Now he late to work.
He knew you would have came when you heard the door.
Yeah, exactly. And so when he met me at the bottom of the stairs, it's like the argument started all over again. And I told him, I said, look, I don't care what you do. I'm not driving you to work today. If I have to walk from here to school or whatever else, because my school was kind of like up in the hills. And I'm like, if I got to walk to school or whatever, then I'll do it. But I don't need the car. I don't need you. Take it and go, you know, just take it and go. I ain't going nowhere and all of that. And I'm like, okay. I said, well, whatever. If you won't go, then I'm going to go. You ain't going nowhere. You going to take me to work and you going to take me to work now. Say what? Baby, I don't know. Maybe that was the Spirit of God. He sent his angel Michael, his war angel to come up on me. But I was like, you know what? I am done. I just completely told him I am done. And I remember when I said that, he had took me and threw me on the couch and choked me a minute, you know, choked me a minute. And I couldn't breathe for a minute. And I'm fighting him off and I pushed him off. And I finally said, you know what? Excuse my language, y'all, but I'm going to be transparent. I said, fuck this shit.
Right.
Literally.
You mad at this point.
Yes.
You were done.
Right. I was totally done. I said, you know what? I don't care. You can have everything. You can have the house. You can have the clothes. You can have my clothes. I don't care. You know, I'm out of here. And so I went ahead and I picked up my backpack, girl, and I left. Like, I totally went out. He had closed the door, pushed the door behind me so that the door could press up against me. And so I went ahead and I left. I walked up the street, and while I was walking up the street, I was crying the whole way. And I finally ended up, the Lord directed me to go to a social services building. And so
Oh,
I
okay.
went into that building, and that's when I began to ask for help. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, I need to talk to somebody, and I need to talk to somebody right now
Now.
because I'm done and I'm tired.
Right.
And when I went in there, you know, I talked to a social worker that was there, and you know, I told her what was going on, and she said, "Are you ready to leave today?" I said, "I was ready to leave yesterday. I was ready to leave last night.
Okay.
What can you do to help me?" So she began to call around, and she ended up finding a shelter for women and women and children, women that have children.
Right.
And so she said, you know, can you go there today? Are you safe enough to get what you need and go there today? I said, yeah, I'll go there. So I went back when I knew that he was at work.
Right.
You know, I went by the house to see if he had took the car, and the car was gone. And I'm looking around, making circles around the block to make sure he hasn't parked anywhere. And I went into the house.
Where were the children? They were in the house?
My kids at the time were at school.
Okay.
So that they were at school at the time. Luckily, when they were, when all of this transpired, they were actually at their grandparents' house, and their grandparents agreed to take them to school the next day.
Okay.
You know, to give me a break. And so I was thankful for that.
Thank God.
I was very thankful for that. So I went to the house and I grabbed the biggest suitcase that I could find and packed our stuff
whatever I could throw in there.
as much as I could up in it. And I left. I left and I went to a shelter, you know, that was many, many cities away. You know, like I had to catch a couple of buses to get to school and take the kids to school. But I went ahead and I did that, and I stayed in that shelter for roughly about 3 months until I was able to get my restraining order. So finally we went to court, and I finally got the restraining order, and they granted me full custody of our son.
Good.
Granted me full custody. And ever since then, I ain't looked back ever since. I've seen him since then, and all I do is just...
Really? Wow. So you
That's
guys
all I
already
do.
know, if you have a question, drop your questions in the question box. Then there is one here. She says, when did you get to a place where you no longer felt anger talking about it?
You know what? It took a couple of years. It did. It took a couple of years. There was when I first got out of the relationship and whatnot, I took the first to 18 months. I took that just completely to myself. Like no dating, no nothing, no, just figuring out who I am. Like trying to figure out what do I love to do again.
Right.
You know,
trying to find you.
Stuff, you know, stuff that I like. I like to draw. I like to write poetry. I like to paint sometimes. You know, and those outlets that I used to do, I hadn't done it in years because I was so succumbed by this relationship. Yeah. So that period of time, I just went ahead and I started doing that. It took me roughly, when I started feeling comfortable to talk about the situation, was roughly about almost 3 years. 3 years later. The first period when I finally got comfortable of talking about it, the first year I started talking about it, I would talk about it and I would cry as I talked. Sometimes I couldn't even get through the whole story without bawling and sobbing and crying and all of that. But I knew that it was something that I needed to do because I needed to release all of this that was in me out of me. I needed to release the pain. So I talked about it and I kept talking about it. And
to get it out.
I kept talking about it over time, over the years, as the years passed, it began to become easier and easier for me to talk about it. Because now I'm not in that space and I'm not in that place anymore. Now I see the change and the difference in myself.
Yeah, that's good. She says, has he apologized to you or y'all son? And it's before you answer that, I just want to say it's 8:44. You know, Instagram cuts us off in an hour. And it's so strange because I was on my other page yesterday and I was on there maybe an hour and a half. So I don't know if it's different accounts. But just as if you guys are just tuning in or you've been on or you not familiar with her, this is Tachetta D. Henry of TDH Ministries on Instagram. And also Tachetta D. Henry, or is it TDH Ministries on Facebook as well. She also has a podcast and she is an upcoming author. So if you're not following her at TDH Ministries, make sure you follow her now. Tonight's show is sponsored by Beatrice Simone. I can't say her last name, Beatrice of I Can't Let Go. That page is a page where she talks about grieving and help others to deal with their grief. Make sure you follow her page as well. And that's I Can't _ Let Go. And TDH Ministries is all together. Ministries, TRIES. And again, this is Tachetta D. Henry. We're going to jump right back to Nessa the Dawn's question. Has he apologized to you or your son?
No.
And this is how many years now?
And am I worried about that apology? Absolutely not.
You're fine. I get it. She says, Deranged says, are you still afraid of him?
Absolutely not.
So you got that Bible?
Absolutely not.
I know that's right. I know that's right. She said you stopped it and restored it. Yes, I followed you. Good. And if you follow her, then you are away with Live Talk Tuesdays. And if any of you wonderful, fabulous, lovely ladies would like to be a part of her Wonder Woman Wednesday, because we're all wonderful, make sure you follow her there, and she will reach out to you so that you can share your story about being a Wonder Woman. We all are Wonder Woman. Did you answer my question? I might have missed it. Your question was, did he apologize? She said no.
No, he didn't apologize, and I'm not even really worried about that. Do we still talk? No. I haven't talked to that man. The last time we talked was when I left.
Hey, your son doesn't correspond with you and your son? I mean, your son?
No, he sees my son, but we have a court order, in regards to that. He doesn't see me at all. My thing is that time is over, that time is done, and he's still in his feelings or whatever, and still holds animosity and whatnot. And me, I just don't have time.
So wait.
He still
Pump
does.
your brakes. He mad at you? He
Girl.
mad at you because you won't let him keep beating you? The nerve.
Girl.
Wow.
The nerve. That's what I said. You should have heard the show that he performed, and I say show, that he performed in the courtroom. When the court began, when the judge began to say the order and whatnot, and she got to the point where she was granting me full custody, and she was telling me, Miss Henry, I commend you for your courage and all of that. Girl, he started bawling like a baby in the courtroom, bawling like a baby. I was only trying to make her happy, and I just looked at him. I didn't say not a word, because there's nothing more for me to say. When God fights your battles, I don't have to say nothing else.
Yeah,
He's already fixed it for me.
So just leave it alone,
you
right?
Control. Now God has shown you that, baby, you don't have control.
My God.
She's not yours to control. But he also had to teach me about myself. I learned again how to love me.
And that's a good thing. And before we answer the range question, Tuesday when Ashandi was on, she talked about that too. She said she had to find herself. She had to realize I need to love me before I can love anyone else, because she just kept, it was a cycle. She just kept returning to it. And that really makes a lot of sense. Does him and your son have a healthy relationship?
You know what? They have a relationship. I don't know. I wouldn't say healthy, because I speak to my son in regards to it, and his relationship with his father is not, fatherly, sonly. They're more like coexisting. He knows that that's
he just deals with him
whatnot. Yeah, but his relationship with that side of the family is more with his father's parents. Now,
how old is he? Your son? How old is your son?
As of now, he's 14.
Okay. Yeah. So he kind of, he knows. He knows, because he was 7 when you left. So he had seen things, and he kind of knew what was going on at that point.
Right. So,
yeah.
I mean, like I said, at this point, I'm not a parent basher or anything like that.
Right.
My son does know the truth in regards to it, and I never hid that from him, but I want him to grow and make his own decision.
Correct.
In regards to his father, as long as he knows that I love him and that I'm going to take care of him, regardless. And that, he can be the best man that he can be. That's all that matters to me.
Right.
That's all that matters to me. And all of my sons are doing great.
Good. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. My allergy is kidding me. So, and I'm glad. And you have 3 sons, so I know you instill in them how to treat a women, how, you know,
Absolutely.
don't do this, don't do that, what's supposed to be and not be. So do you guys have any other questions for Tachetta tonight? Her story, I'm just still on the biting part. Like, did he become animalistic, cannibalistic at that point? So that's still there for me. He want to perform, and I think it was Beatrice that said he need an Oscar.
Girl, an Oscar or Emmy.
So I know before we were all talking about the narcissism and it's so funny. I've interviewed 8 of you guys at this point, and the stories are so similar. It always starts and then escalates. It starts the good, and then the apology, and then that's just so like, oh, yeah, they got issues. Do you think he might have had is there something that you think he saw or he experienced?
You know, I don't know. Reason being, because I know he had an incidents where I think some people was trying to rob him or something like that, and you know they kind of hurt him pretty bad, you know. And he explained that to me during the years that we weren't together. Went through some things then, you know. I don't know the full detail, but he went through some stuff then. Like I said, it just seemed like it was night and day. He was one person for years that I knew that seemed like he was sweet and loving and all of that, to grow into a person that I didn't even know anymore. You know, I didn't even know anymore. So I don't know. During that period of time, something may have happened that may have triggered him, or may have made him feel like maybe he felt like that he lost control over his own life. So you know, he's had up a guard. Yeah, let me go ahead and try to control somebody else's to feel like I'm in control of something. You know,
was he ever
being in control of my own life, but I'm in control of something.
Somebody. Was he ever mean to your other sons?
Not. I wouldn't say like as far as physically, no, absolutely not. I wouldn't play that. You know, not at all. Emotionally, I think it was more towards my oldest son.
Okay.
I think it's more towards my. Are you able to love yourself and love again, girl? Great question. You see how I look now? Yes.
You in love with you, boo.
I love myself. Yeah. I love who I am. I love the person that I've become. I realize strengths and gifts in me that I never thought that I had. Even stuff that was there but it had not birthed out of me yet, you know. So yeah, I absolutely love myself, and I'm able to love again, you know. I mean, like even with my abuser, I'm not gonna say I'm in love with him, but I got love for him because he did something for me. You know, it took for me to go through that situation. It took for the times for him to tell me that I wasn't nothing, that I wasn't going to be nothing, that, you know, that sparked something in me to work as hard as I did to become who I am. So that's why I said, even though it was a bad situation, but he just don't know that he was working for my benefit. He was working for my good, because he was able to make me more determined, you know, make me push even more. You know, I got to prove this fool wrong. You know, so I was pushing even more to the point where it didn't even become about him anymore. It became about me. Wait a minute. Now I discovered this is something that I really love to do.
Right. Because you didn't have the time to explore those things, because you were fighting to survive at the time. And before we close out, I just want you to leave us with one thing, not necessarily spiritually, because I know you definitely, that what really kept you going and held your ground. But what is something, I know you're going to tell them, keep their relationship with God, for sure. But what is something else? What else would you say to someone that's in a situation now that think they can't get out? What is one thing you would say to them?
Well, number one, you can't get out. You know, you can't get out. But the thing is, it takes time for that, you know, and don't let anybody else tell you when or how or, you know, whatever. When the time comes for you to get out, it's going to align for you to get out. You know, don't get me wrong. It's people that want to see you come out of those situations and whatnot. But, you know, until that person begins to see the worth within themselves again, or say, hey, I've had enough of this. There is nothing that anyone can do or say or try or
Okay.
whatever to make that person come up out of that situation until they are ready.
And I'm
Until
glad
they are ready.
you said that, and I'm gonna have a confession to make. Because I've always looked at people that were in those situations. I've never had it. And not to say that y'all aren't strong or y'all aren't fighters or whatever the case may be. Everybody's situation is different. It could be financial. It could be something they're used to. It all, something to that extent. But I always looked at it like, how can you not get out? That was always my thought. You know what I'm saying? But listening to Suzanne, it's not always as easy as people think. You got to really, she said, create an exit plan. But first you got to build you up to have that confidence mentally to even leave. Because if you're with someone that's taking care of the bills, taking care of everything, basically, and you don't even have access to the account, how are you going to leave? So each and every one of you guys have really given me a different type of respect, starting with Sierra, Shaquilla, Bonnie, Johanna, we'll call her name, Joanna, Majida, Shandi. It's like, okay, so each of your stories pretty much were similar, and y'all created a way to leave. So it's not as everybody always thinks or expects.
No.
You have to, and you just close it out saying that you have to do it on your timing. It's going to be where you just know, and it's going to happen. So I can't say like, girl, you better come on and leave this man. No. Because one, I know y'all love them. That I know that for a fact, because you have kids with them. Some of y'all have had children with them. So it's like, how do I leave? Like, it's my child. They're taking care of you. Some of you weren't really set up to go, but you did. So I commend each and every one of you guys. I don't know if I could have mentally done it, like you said, because everybody don't have this strength. Some people may not have believed in God, but they just believe, okay, I'm going to get my people to kill him. Oh, I'm going to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just have different things. So I'm glad. I love that answer. That made a whole lot of sense. And I apologize for thinking y'all soft. Like, no, y'all actually are strong to be enduring that. So y'all make sure.
It took a lot for that relationship when all of that happened. Like I said, I'm at the place and point in my life right now. I'm at the strongest that I ever thought that I could ever be. Because now I know how to deal with temperament now. Like if somebody were to call me out my name now, baby, let me tell you something. I'm gonna let that thing roll. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Ain't nothing nobody can say.
Exactly, because now I know who I am. Now I'm comfortable with who I am. Now can't nobody but God tell me who I am. So baby, say whatever you want to say, feel however you want to feel. Tachetta is going to live her life and is going to live a happy life, because that's the life that I want, a life of happiness and a life of peace. That's the whole thing. Everything else to come, but those two things, I'm going to get by any means necessary. And there's nothing someone can do or say to me that will make me shift from that. Now, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Right. I agree. So I just want to thank you. We got about 2-3 more minutes left. So I want to thank you. Make sure you guys follow her. I'm going to take you out so that I can say my goodbyes. But if you guys aren't following, make sure you follow TDH Ministries. And thank you so much for being transparent. And again, make sure you follow her. Join her on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. She dropped that word. And she don't drop the word where you go, and she dropped the word like for life. So make sure you follow her. And drop a comment when you follow the page. If you're catching the replay, make sure you leave a message as well. All right. Thank you so much. You and I will definitely be talking. Again, make sure you follow her. Follow ICANN_let_go, which is the sponsor of tonight's show. Her page is a page for people that are grieving. She gives scriptures, motivation, and she does go live from time to time. So make sure you follow them both. All right. Thank you so much. And we will be talking.
Blessings.
All right. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This month has been really, really eye-opening. I don't know if it has been eye-opening for any of you all, but it has been for me. Like I just said, I just learned that there's reasons to why people remain in certain situations, and we are no one to judge. We're not the judge nor the jury. We're neither God. So we just have to stay in our place and know our place. And so I have really come to the conclusion that they're strong. We think they soft or they weak because they're, you know, enduring this stuff, but they're enduring it. That's why they're considered to be strong. So if you guys are in that situation, you know someone that's in that situation, please have them call the 1-800-799-SAFE in that 723. That's the National Domestic Hotline. And if you're in the state of Florida or in Miami, Broward area, you can reach out to Paint to Purpose 76 on Instagram. That that's an organization that helps women that are domestic violence, going through domestic violence, or are survivors, because you got to think about it. Even after the situation, they still need that help. They still need that support to build them back up. And it's not something, like she said, it took her 3 years to even talk about it. You know what I mean? Some people I think but Brittany said it took her like 11 years before she was able to do it. So we just got to really be respectful, be mindful. I've gotten a whole new outlook on it now. And I really tip my hats off to them. And again, I have to say, guys, they are truly, truly strong. They're still going through it. So if you see someone that you know, please don't, be careful, be mindful of your words, because some things may trigger it and set them back. All right. I'm not no therapist. I'm not no counselor, but I'm just saying, just listen to each and every one of these women, what they went through. Some of them had to walk on eggshells. They didn't even know if they were coming or going. You know what I'm saying? So support is everything. And sometimes support doesn't even come in us talking. Sometimes support just come in us listening, not saying anything. Because not all the time you want to hear something like, girl, you need to leave that man. No, just listen. Okay. And I'm just telling you that because I actually was very close with someone that went through that. That was the first person I interviewed, which is my cousin. And sometimes they just want to talk. They don't even really want you to say anything. At least that was our case with her. I've had another friend that went through it where her child's father actually like put a gun down her throat, and she's still not at the point where she can talk about it. Her daughter is 22 years old now. Her daughter was, I think 3 years old at the time, and she's still not ready and open to talk about it. So, I mean, again, just be mindful, be careful. If you know someone that has experienced it or is experiencing it, like I said, give them the 1-800 number. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. Which is 723, or have them reach out to Shonda Roberts at Paint to Purpose 76 on Instagram. And she has many, many, many resources for them. And that's in here in Miami, in Broward, in Florida. I'm sure she may have access to things in Florida, maybe people in other states, but I'm only saying what I know for here for now. And again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Next month, it's not going to be a series, but we will be talking to other people who are community leaders, people who have different organizations. As you know, I don't only talk to entrepreneurs, I talk to community leaders. And I'm starting to branch out. I'm probably going to start having some children on, because you guys know how I feel about the children. I love the kids, just like Trick Daddy. And I want to have children. Children have a voice as well. So we need to start getting them involved in some things too, talking to them, talking with them, having them to talk to us. All right. So again, follow TDH Ministries on Instagram and on Facebook. She has Life Talk Tuesdays and Wonder Woman Wednesdays, and also our sponsor, I Can't _let go. She also has a page where she shares her grief, and she talks about ways to get out of that as well. So it's not domestic violence. She lost her husband 3 years ago. She's still grieving, but she wants to uplift and build other women that are going through the same thing too. She says people fear the backlash from the other person. They fear the rejection of those who won't believe them. And you know what? I think it was Tuesday someone said that sometimes people don't think about it. People don't want to hear it anymore because they've said it so much. So it comes to the point where the people around you don't want to hear it. They don't want to know what's going on. And for me, that's kind of sad, because it's like, that's why I say you just listen sometimes. You don't even have to respond, because not everything, what my grandmother used to say, yeah, I know I was talking about my grandmother used to say, there's a plaster for every sore, but you don't need to cover all. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know how you have a cut and sometimes you put a Band-Aid on it, but some cuts don't need a Band-Aid. They just need to air out. So think about it that way. So they just want to talk. They don't necessarily need you to just keep hovering over them, saying stuff. Just listen and be quiet sometimes, okay? All right. So there's a special person on this live. They don't know that I'm going to do this, but I'm going to bring them on, and they're going to tell you about something that they used to do on Friday. See, Instagram let me go longer than an hour, y'all. They don't show it out, y'all. So I'm going to bring Coco Roberts Books in, because she is going to tell y'all about something she did called Freedom Friday, where she talked. She just talked. She just shared stuff, just random stuff. It was so funny. And she stopped doing it. And if y'all know me and you connected to me, you know I'm going to make you do what you was doing. I don't care about consistency. And if she needs to do it on my page, record it at home and come on my page and do it, or do it on my page on Fridays, she going to do it on there. So, Coco, you ready, girl? You didn't even know I was going to do that. She made you cut. Look what I'm wearing tonight. Yes. Y'all see that? You see that? All right. So make sure y'all follow She Made You Cook too. She is out in California. She's talking about, oh my God. You got your wig on, baby girl. Listen, Band-Aids don't always fix open wounds. It does. They really don't. So you ready, Coco? You can tell them about it, and we're going to figure out what you're going to do. You're going to do it here. You're going to do it there. Let's go. I think I sent it. You ain't even know. I'm so glad you joined.
No, I did not. I just got finished with my homework, and I jumped on right there.
Yes. So go ahead, tell my audience about Freedom Friday, what you used to do and what you gonna do. I mean, I ain't saying you gotta do it this Friday or nothing like that, but you know.
Okay, so Freedom Friday was just something that I did every Friday, where I just talked about random stuff, mainly stuff that people want to talk about, but they don't talk about because they fear what other people are going to say about them. So I talk about everything, like
crazy stuff. It'd be so funny.
Yeah, sex and your boyfriends, and one that I remember where I say, a single woman who makes her own money doesn't necessarily need a man, but she wants a man. Mm-hmm. And people hate when I say that, mm-hmm. but it's the truth. I don't necessarily need you, but I want you. I mean, I want you. Yeah.
Right. So when you gonna get it back going? Because you know them topics be funny, and it's not, like she said, it's not only that. She just talks about stuff that, like, you know how, I don't want to say, because people be screen recording and stuff, but you know how there's some people, okay, let me say it like this. Y'all know we got some freaks out here, and they be acting like, well, I don't do that.
Right.
Oh, y'all got a little freaking out, especially y'all little church girls. I hope Tachetta is still on here. I'm just saying, though, y'all know I ain't lying.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So that's the type of thing she does. And I think it'll be really cool. I don't mind adding it on my page as a segment, or you do it on your page. I'm gonna share it over every Friday. You just let me know. You know I got you, and I want to make it happen. She's talking about me. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So all y'all go over, follow Coco Roberts Books, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find one of them on there, and I'm gonna share it, and then y'all gonna see what we're talking about. And so y'all gonna go on her page and harass her, because we gotta start. Listen, y'all, we're gonna be virtual for a minute, okay? So we just gotta use what we got and make it work.
Right,
all right?
Right.
So that's all I wanted to do. She had no clue, obviously. She was doing her schoolwork, trying to learn her lesson, and I'm
I really was.
Yes. So thank you for jumping on. I told y'all I'm gonna be on for 2 hours tonight while I close out this segment. So that was that. So we're gonna talk. I'm gonna find one and I'm gonna share it. Or tag me on one that you want me to share, like a really good one.
Okay.
We could do that. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right, guys. So listen. I'm about to go. I'm done. I am done. But listen, y'all already know this is the Corey Love Show. It's your girl, Corey Love. I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm going to play my outro so y'all can hear, for those of you who have not heard it. If anybody have anything they want to say, anything they want to promote, share, let me know. I will bring you in, that you get a plug real quick. If you're not following Redirect Your Choices, that is also another mental health page that they are, well, it's my bestie. She shares mental health strategies, dealing from financial, yoga. She said, run it back. Financial, yoga, spiritual, and mental health strategies to help us. She's not a therapist or mental health therapist. She is a strategist that helps you to strategize ways to redirect your choices. So if you're not following her, follow her as well. Let me see who else is on here. Y'all know I love boosting people up. You, I already told you, of course. My girl Tachetta, Controlling Your Crazy. Controlling Your Crazy. I don't know if she said on here, but she also talks about controlling your crazy. When you think that's your man, but he really ain't your man. She try to help you with that. Melanin Queens, Woman Empowerment T-shirts. Val Speaks, Renegade Radio Chicago. If you got underground radio, she's an underground radio host. If you got music that you want to promote, make sure you follow her. Hey, girl, you here? You want me to bring you in? I'm gonna bring you in because our live did not work. We still working on getting that together, so I'm gonna bring you in so you can tell the people about you and what you do. We still gotta do our show. We're gonna do it live for real, for real. Instagram is letting us go longer than an hour, Tony. Look at here.
Oh my gosh.
You accepted it, girl. You know, ain't nothing. You want me to put my bonnet on so we can match?
I was not expecting that. Oh my gosh. Hair, bonnet, and all.
Listen, let me get mine. Don't feel bad, girl. Hold on. We gonna match. We gonna match. We gonna match. Hold on. Who got my bonnet?
Too funny.
And go ahead and tell the people about you, girl.
So for those of you that are watching, I am Tony, owner of Controlling Your Crazy. I go by the Crazy Coach. So I help single women control their emotions for a man who's not their boyfriend. So I refer to him as the non-existent boyfriend.
Now you gotta feel bad.
Yes. And I got my pre-sale for my book coming very soon. So you can follow me at Controlling Your Crazy on Instagram and on Facebook.
So we gotta be crazy. Like, can I do one? Cause like I might be like crazy about my husband. Would it apply to us too or no?
No. So it's really a platform for single women. And
okay. It's a lot of them on here.
Yeah, I use the term crazy differently than what single women are used to. So we know that men throw out that term so casually. Mm-hmm. You know, anytime a woman speaks up or defends herself, they call her crazy. But yeah, this crazy, you know, isn't what men are talking about. It's the crazy where we kind of overreact and get too involved for some guy that we barely even know.
Okay.
So my job is to help you control those loose emotions and just take dating for what it is until it elevates to the next level.
She said everyone needs the book. Okay, we're gonna make sure we share it out for sure. Yes. So you know, I don't know if you guys know that I did have an interview with Tony and it got deleted by mistake. And so we're definitely she said this time is not about me. Okay, I'm sorry.
Somebody said I'm single some days, mostly on Wednesday.
What? Auntie, I'm not playing with you. I am not playing with you. She said on Wednesday. Okay. So that's the day.
That's funny.
Okay. But so we had an interview. It was so good. And I know that's why it was deleted because we're supposed to do it another way again. That's how I look at stuff now. So we're going to be doing it live in person with actual people soon as stuff kind of clears up. If you're local, you can definitely join us. And so I know that's going to be funny because I'm going to make sure all my crazy single friends that date only on Wednesdays are there.
Because we had a good number of viewers that night. It was interactive.
It was we even had men on there responding.
Yes.
So imagine. So I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be really, really good. So even if you guys are not local, you'll still be able to tune in because we're working. Well, I'm working on it right now because I have to have her back. All right. I want it to be in person. I mean, we could do it like this, but I think it'll be really fun and interactive with people.
It would.
Around.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
working
I'm
on
down.
that. All right. Thank you so much. I got on my bonnet. We match, girl. Don't feedback. Yeah. I always usually be like this. So you sound cute though.
Oh boy. All right, girlie.
All right. Talk to you later. Yes. I could take a new shirt. Why not? I sure will. Yes, ma'am. You see my shirt? Yes. And I still got my my pot holders. Yeah, she made you cook out the best pot holders. You don't even feel the heat coming through. So I'm gonna pull her in real quick, and then that's gonna be it for the night. All right. I'll pull her in really, really fast so she could tell you about she made you look and she made you cook, because she make you look and she make you cook. Hello. There she go. Let's see. Hey girl, let me see what I'm talking about. You see how they be coming on here? I'm gonna take this off now. Look,
I am in the pool.
See, I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. Look at him.
I'm trying to be like you, hustling hard. You see me?
Do y'all see how gorgeous that's why she got the other page that she made you look. Oh, you on She Made You Look. Okay. Yeah. So tell her about She Made You Look and She Made You Cook real quick.
Okay, thank you so much for bringing me into your live. I was just surprised. I said, who requested me? I'm in the pool, so excuse me, guys. She Made You Look is offering a chic collection of clothing for curvy and plus size women and accessories for all sizes. She Made You Look logo is about 8 years old. It was my blog. It was how I felt about myself. I am 5'11". I am a big girl. I feel like when I walk in a room, everybody looks. So that is how I came up with the name She Made You Look. And it started off as a fashion blog. I spent about 16 years working in luxury retail, Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, Saks Avenue. I was a personal shopper, a brand ambassador. So I just had a blog talking about fashion, different trends and all that. It was very tedious. And I just gave up on it too soon. Yeah. I didn't put in the work. And I wanted to offer like clothing, but I just didn't know how to go about it. So now I've been studying a bit more and I'm able to offer clothing. So this She Made You Look page will be offering clothing and accessories and all that, but I will be talking about fashionable things, museum exhibits that are around, chic restaurants, just fun, fabulous things on this page. And then on She Made You Cook.
And she likes to travel too, y'all. So she probably on vacation right now. You see that?
I'm working on, it's a workcation. I'm in LA. I'm in LA. It's a workcation. Awesome. But She Made You Cook actually stemmed from She Made You Look. We just switched it around and switched the outfit when I kind of fell in love with baking, because I was putting She Made You Look logos on my baking goods. And so we just kind of switched it around and I bartered that logo. I baked a cake for the logo that you're wearing. And she did my logo for a cake. But I offer custom made desserts. I teach live cooking classes, which is more like a food experience. It's not like a traditional class. We do bake and sip with Jim. We decorate cupcakes and learn about different techniques over cocktails. I do cuisine, cocktails, and conversations where I teach you how to make a full course meal. I'm talking about an appetizer, a plated meal, and desserts. And then I have my merchandise. Corey is wearing the shirt. I have pot holders. I have dish towels, leggings, socks, and all of that stuff. If it's not available now, it will be restocked very soon.
And they're the cutest. She got the cutest socks. And she got cake in a jar. Let me tell you.
Cake jars. That's not on my site. I was testing it out. Corey loves it. Everybody gave me really, really good responses. So I'm trying to figure out how I could offer like consistent flavors. But it is made to order and I can ship cake in a jar nationwide.
And it's so good, y'all. Soon as she get that bag, I've been waiting, y'all. I've been waiting. Make sure you follow her on both pages. She Made You Look. She Made You Cook. Like she said, she's 5'11", a big girl, but she's beautiful and she rocks her clothes. So if you ain't following her, follow her now. All right? Make sure you do. And give her a couple of likes and comments on some of her stuff. All right, y'all? It does come in different sizes. So it's not only for us.
For the merchandise, the logo shirts, they come in kids through adult 3XL. For the clothing collection, I'm doing XL through 3XL. So it is for the big girls, but I got headbands. I'm wearing one right now. Really cute, really trendy. I have all kind of colors and different styles. They're selling out before I can even put them on the website. So I have a lot of headbands and accessories, designer inspired pieces for everybody. But the clothes are plus size clothing.
Awesome. Okay, girl. Thank you so much for jumping on.
Okay, bye, you guys.
Bye. She's so gorgeous, huh? Listen. So I said that would be the last. I got somebody trying to come in. All right, my girl in Canada. Yes, I.
Hey, beautiful Corey.
Hey, gorgeous. You better tell them about that weight loss because I'm gonna be on there trying to get rid of this.
I know. We're working together. We're working together.
My butt belly.
Hey, Corey's crew. How's everybody doing? Hi, beautiful people.
Yes. Tell them about the weight loss program.
I will. So my name is Joanna Grant. I'm actually a registered nurse here, a founder and the chief executive officer of a nurse-managed health and wellness company called Fit with Freedom. Hear that part? Fit with Freedom. So we offer a lot of services. Our pilot or our best services is our weight loss program. And I have received funding for research purposes to offer the program valued at $850 for free until the end of 2020. So yes, it is open to it is open to American and Canadian residents for all races, but the research is for Black. So I am pushing to get more Black people on because we are trying to get research around Black people because there's not enough research on us, right? Our race.
How many spots do you have?
I think altogether there's 50 and I filled 20, so there's still 30 available. So you guys don't walk.
Run. And they follow what page? Fit Freedom.
They can follow this one that I'm on right now, Bony the Body, or they can follow Fit with Freedom. Just DM me. I think it's easier to DM me maybe at Bony the Body because I'm on this one more than Fit. And DM me, and then I will send them the information. And if it's something that they want to do, then I will send them the contract and stuff, and then we can get it rolling. It can be managed virtually because of COVID. I have to model it that way. And so basically, it's 8 weeks, customized meal plan, customized workout plan. We will have a cooking class that's virtual. We will also have a meal prep class that's virtual, yes. And what you will have is a weekly check-in with me based on everything that we work out. And it's basically keeping you accountable. If you have questions, if you have concerns, I'm here for you from a medical perspective. So I'm not a personal trainer. I am not a nutritionist. I am a nurse, but I can talk to exercise and nutrition.
So if I have like blood pressure and stuff, you let me know, okay,
I'll let you
what to eat, what not to eat, and how, what
what not to eat. Even things, sometimes like a lot of people have challenges with losing weight because of current medical conditions they have or because of medications that they're on. So if I know that part of your assessment will be highlighting all those things. So if I know that, then I can tell you from jump, hey, you know what? Yeah, Uncle Dave was a personal trainer. I'll be like, hey, you know what? These medications that you're on may be one of the reasons why you're not losing as quickly as you would like. And maybe, you know, if it's a high blood pressure med, I might here's some suggestions to give to your doctor. Maybe he can look at tweaking it, because sometimes too the doctors will just prescribe what they're used to versus recognizing, okay, this medication might be causing this kind of discomfort for the time if we switch it up. Yes, if we switch it up and stuff like that. So we've seen great success with that here. And I mean, I'm a member of Obesity Canada and a member of World Obesity Organization. So a lot of my teaching comes from there.
And make sure you guys, seriously, I know there's some of us that we've talked about this over and over, but what I like about what she's saying, it's coming from a health perspective. It's not even about, I'm going to give you these certain exercises. I'm going to tell you how to eat and what to eat so the weight can stay off. That's the whole thing. Because I know that's my problem. Like, I want to eat normal.
Yes.
But you know, it's
Yes.
like, okay, they tell me cut all crop. You know, I like rice and peas. I'm an island girl. Like, I gotta eat that. So how
Yes.
do I eat it with peas? You know, so make sure you
Yes.
follow her. I'm gonna share. I
Yes.
share this in my stories. I'm gonna be sharing it because I'm
Yes.
joining. Because we all, even if you're small and you think you're healthy, let me tell you, some of y'all skinny people still don't be as healthy as y'all think y'all are. Okay.
I was one of those skinny people. I was a mess once.
you felt that hate.
I was a mess, yo. You guys, I had GERD. I have low blood sugar, so it's the opposite of actually having high blood sugar. So it's like if I don't eat for hours, I can just faint from my sugar being really, really low and go into a coma. So listen, I know what it's like to be a skinny, unhealthy person. Okay,
Wow,
so
see?
my job here is to teach you guys how to change your lifestyle to get and nobody here ain't trying to make nobody skinny. Trying to get you to lose, 5 to 10% of your weight and get you feeling healthy and get you moving and brisk so you can live an extra 10 years, got that good girl glow on,
Yes.
how we
I
do.
know. That's my goal. Like, it's just that stomach fat that's killing me. Because I just want to lose that stomach fat. If not, y'all gonna just see, I'm gonna just have surgery. I'm serious, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it real.
Hey, I
Listen.
did that, so I ain't even gonna be mad at you. I did that, girl. I know all about it. No, I know all about it, man.
Right?
Dr. Yali's my friend in Dominican Republic. She'll tell you about me.
You
She
too
got me all
funny.
over her page.
So make sure you guys follow Fit for Freedom or Bonnie_the body. And that means
Yes.
because she got a body. Okay. So make sure you follow her. I will be sharing this in my stories. Again, I think I shared it already twice.
Yes.
I'm sharing it. And don't be jealous when y'all see my weight loss and stuff because I'm doing it. So who want to do it with me?
And
Let me know.
listen, we started in 2020 off different, man.
Period.
We're not
That's
waiting
it.
until 20. It's great. We started in 2020 off different.
Yeah.
Like
2021, girl. Don't take us back to 2020.
Yeah, exactly. They're giving us an extra hour this weekend. We changing it. 2021. We coming out of this shield and guarded and ready. Trust me.
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
Sugar Girls, Biz, you just joined in. I know you will want to be a part of this. Follow Fit Freedom and Bonnie_D body. And you're gonna be here this weekend, so we'll talk about it. I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah. So to get you guys on my weight loss program, we'll get this thing going, man. Because I need my US girls, man.
Yes, we here. I'm there for sure. I'm there like the film.
I know. I know. Rice and peas, girl. I know. We gotta come up with ideas to this cooking class. I don't know what to cook or what we're gonna teach.
That's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
It will be. I know. I'm looking forward to that.
And it's gonna be Zoom, right? Or
yeah, it has to be. Yeah,
okay.
Zoom. How else can we do it right now with this whole COVID thing? I would love to just come there, but
yeah, I know.
COVID is having our way, and depending on your elections, I don't know how I feel about the
Them y'all people. I'm from the island,
vote, guys.
She was territory.
Go
said
vote,
definitely
guys.
down. Boom. There go another one. That's what's up.
Go vote, guys. Go vote.
I'm
I really need you guys to
vote. Definitely.
Yeah, go
I'm
vote,
there.
guys. I love you guys. Yeah. Go vote, guys. We need to make America great again.
She's so jealous. Listen, you funny. Guys, make sure you follow her. I'm going to do it. Y'all, let's do it. Let's all be in there having fun and losing weight so we can start looking good, okay? Don't DM me. DM her, okay?
Yes.
So she got all the info. Thank you so much.
Sister taking care of a sister.
All right.
All right.
Later.
Okay,
bye. Guys, listen, I'm telling you, one thing I like about her is she tells you from the health perspective. It's not about what the you know how that chart said we're supposed to be this, and that. No, it's just health, about our health. So make sure you're following her. I'm going to be doing it. Y'all going to be jealous. Y'all going to be so jealous. All right. So I'm going to log off. Thank you guys again for tuning in.
Well, Corey,
time to go.
Time to go.
Guidance, blessings, and love. I will see you guys next week.
Join us right back here every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on IG Live.